This Monero Matteo video is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Safely store, send, receive, and trade your Monero on Cake Wallet on Android and iOS. What up? Welcome back, Monero Matteo. We're just going to do a private super chat kind of thing today. Got a couple private super chats. And you guys know how I am. I ramble forever based on like 5 words that may be written to me. So there's probably plenty of content here. But as you guys know, once we get into the private super chats, we tend to wander off into every which direction. Talk about a number of things that I just think are interesting. And last time we did this, we had a pretty good lively discussion in the comments. Talked about monarchy and Musk and some other weird subjects we typically don't talk about, and you guys had a lot of thoughts on it, so it was pretty cool. Let's see if it happens again. And I've got some other videos queued up. I want to talk about the Lightning Network. I want to talk about store of value versus medium of exchange, because there seems to be a big split in the crypto community about that. We'll probably talk a little bit about that today. But yeah, we're just tugging along. If you guys have video recommendations, you guys can become patrons. Patrons, remember, Josh, Ken, Lutz, I got a piece of paper here. Zaptosis, General Zap, Ronan, Lutz, Ken, Josh. Yeah, so thank you guys for supporting the channel. Remember, if you are a patron, you could, request me to make a video, blah, blah, blah. That's something that we do, but also you can do a private super chat. So here we go. First private super chat is in my Pirate Chain wallet. Tommy here. What's up, Tommy? Maybe Pirate Chain is perfect for preventing people from filling a spiritual hole in their life with crypto. The name is simply too silly. Can you imagine someone saying, I hit rock bottom and had nothing to live for, but then in my darkest moment, I found the light of Pirate Chain. Yeah, they'd probably be drunk on the side of a street somewhere. They'd probably have some issue. Maybe like they'd be a Vietnam vet, They're like one of those scraggly beard dudes on the sidewalk with like their brown bag with their eye patch on because they literally like lost an eye in the war. But maybe I could see them finding Pirate Chain because they could actually seamlessly transition into that community and feel like they're a part of something. But yeah, this ties into the conversation we had last video where people were, commenting as to how Bitcoin fills some nihilistic gap that they have in their soul. Because we live in this secular world and everybody's looking for solutions to the problems which abound all around us as we see the final glimmers of the afterglow of the Christian civilization die out, and we all, fling into the abyss. But, a lot of people are looking for answers, and a lot of people think Bitcoin's the answer. They saw the light of Satoshi's grace, and now I have hope. This is what he's referencing. If you want to hear more about that conversation, see the last video. But, yeah, I can't imagine people saying that with Pirate Chain. I mean, it is very silly. And that's one of the things I love about it. It's a lighthearted community of people who like to have a good time, but ultimately they do take the project pretty seriously, and they have developments going on all the time. So a lot of people think it's a scam. A lot of people think, Pirate Chain, I can't imagine me taking this seriously, or people at all taking it seriously. It's like, dude, have you seen Dogecoin? Have you seen Sheeb token? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Really, the marketing is really what takes cryptos to the next level in this world. And the crypto world, you have to understand, is sort of like, it's like a democratic financial market. Whatever coin just appeases a particular part of the population the most is the coin that's going to get the biggest uptick in market cap. And, Elon Musk kind of crowned himself the king of Dodge, and a lot of bros went to Dodge Kingdom. They bought it up. And I've met people in my real life who hold Dogecoin. They hold it seriously. They're like, oh, Matt, you have to understand, like, Dogecoin could really work out. Like, they've drank that much of the Kool-Aid. And they're kind of like the types you would expect, not trying to be judgmental, but, the gauges and the eyeliner and their dudes. You may be wondering how I run into these people. Yes, I like getting pizza from Pizza Hut sometimes. But, it's like people are very gullible, and they're just trying to make money out there. As much as there's like this moral vindicative type of thing where we're going to go up against the central bankers and it's just about money for like 90% of the population out there. They saw a bunch of people get rich quick, easy with crypto. They want to do the same, except they want to have it like, tethered into this like moral context. So it doesn't make it look like they're totally out for greed. But for most people, I think that's what it is. Let's move on. I mean, there's some people who genuinely think like crypto is going to save the world, and I understand it. It's not going to happen, but it may move the world in a better direction. It depends on which crypto wins out. I mean, if it's Monero, I think you have a higher likelihood of that. But the thing is, I was never the same after I saw people donate Monero to the Ukrainian military. I mean, that just shoved a spike into my heart. Like when I saw that, and I didn't see any backlash except for what we were saying here on the channel, it was like, oh, this movement's just totally over. There's no moral quality left to this thing. And of course, people were making up all these stupid arguments like, oh, it's not offense, it's not war, it's defense. It's like, bro, are you like an Orwellian propagandist trying to tell me you sending your Bitcoin or your Monero to a military to fight a war is not funding a war? And so the whole thesis of crypto is going to end all wars is still intact. Like, literally, you have people that dumb, who are prominent, by the way, in crypto. But ever since that, I was just like, yeah, we'll see where this goes, Ultimately, if there's no spiritual underpinning to any of this, and this becomes people's, like, golden calf, where it's like, this is the end-all, be-all, we're going to make, like, a better world with Bitcoin, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's not only going to be, like, have no effect, or almost no. It's going to be worse than what it was before. I'm almost guaranteed of this, but we'll see. Almost certain. Tripped across, who's this from? So the subject is Christ and Crypto. He says, hey, Matteo, tripped across you through a narrated video you did of Bitcoin versus Monero. As you commented, I heard your biblical worldview come through. Really appreciated the wisdom expressed and the unashamed presentation. Monero has popped. Oh, yeah, guys, check out the video we did with Laverde, where we did an analysis. We go through a lot of subjects on that. And I think that is a good overview if people want to get a good idea of Bitcoin versus Monero, but also good things about Monero which are worth noting. And I won't go through them here, but excuse me, you can check it out there. Monero has popped up on my radar relatively recently. I've not thought of it as a Bitcoin killer per se. If you know of an intelligent, balanced treatment of the subject, please let me know. Great to know of Christians in this space. We'll be queuing up more of your videos in the coming days as I go deeper into Monero. Cheers, Todd. What's up, Todd? Welcome to the movement, Monero first. But is it a Bitcoin killer? I think that's your question, right? If I have a balanced treatment on the subject. If the subject is Monero, I've got about 125 videos that you can check out where we give you the super hyper mega bullish case. But I think you're talking about Monero being a Bitcoin killer. We'll see. Let's comment on that. I think this statement, Bitcoin killer, assumes too much. I think you're assuming that Bitcoin is still alive. I don't know if it is still alive, frankly. I mean, why do you have to kill something which is already dead? I think back in 2017, Bitcoin was, like, murdered by, like, the elites. And we've talked about, the Bitcoin black pill. I think that was one of the first videos we did. Thanks to you, Josh, who brought to my attention Blockstream and their shenanigans and the people who invest in Blockstream. Go check that out. I mean, that's a whole rabbit hole. But when you realize that they pretty much put onto Bitcoin small block, cinder block boots and threw it into a lake and killed it, like, you never really see Bitcoin the same, but you also never really see crypto the same. Because the fact that people like went into Bitcoin thinking like the fact that the small block it was what was going to make it work, and that's why it's a store of value. Blah 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 blah. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh, this could be a total psyop. And based on what we've seen with MasterCard and what we've seen with the new crypto world order in so many different directions, in our conversations with Money Today show, go check him out. He's still killing it over there on the channel. Go check him out. It's abundantly clear that this whole crypto movement is going to be integral in the vision the elites have for us and have for the world coming. And it's something interesting to note that if you are a Bitcoin bro and if you're a Monero bro and you fall into this millenarian, I learned a new word. It's like millenarian or something like that. It's like the idea that, you know, there's like an end-all be-all which is going to lead the human race into like a new age or something like this. Millenarian, I think that's the word for it. If you have like this millenarian view of hyper-Bitcoinization, or you think like Bitcoin's going to save the world, you have the same paradigmatic perspective as the elites who are taking the world into a technocracy, and they think technology is going to fix everything. It's going to fix the fallen human condition. We just need to plug chips into your brain. We just need to hook you up into the global hive mind, Web 3.0, system. And we need to do a number of other things we probably don't have the wonderful joy to know about yet. But that is the same perspective, where it's not that we are made in the image of God and we're fine as we are, which is the antithesis of every communist, socialist, revolutionary system, which wants to change human nature and mold human nature into a system that is amenable to the desires of the elites. But no, it's you are good as you are. You have infinite value the way that you are. God loves you the way that you are, and so we are to love you as well the way that you are. That is not the perspective. It is technology is going to fix our fallen nature. And it's not like doing the work yourself in order to become a better person, in order to really line up your spirit and your soul with the will of God. No, it's about just sitting there waiting for the globalists to take over and like have them give you all the tech that you need in order to be like an eternal superhuman. That's not good. And I feel like that perspective is, whether explicitly or implicitly, rampant in the crypto community. And so this is why the crypto world in general, whether they think they're revolting against the central banks or not, like they are kind of moving in lockstep with that agenda that the elites have. Whether you take out the central banks, we'll see. But you're still going to have trackable and traceable money, especially if Bitcoin, is the top dog. And we have to use Bitcoin. And Bitcoin essentially is like a Frankenstein. Like, as we said, it is dead on layer 1. It doesn't work. And so they need all this layer 2 funny stuff in order to make it work, which, by the way, makes it more complicated, which makes the attack surface and the attack vectors that much more numerous. But also, it makes it so that you have to rely on more external entities and parties in order to make this stuff work, and those entities and parties may not be necessarily on your side. And if you get into the Lightning Network, you'll know what I'm talking about. But ultimately, guys, this is why we're about Monero. Now, whether or not Bitcoin is going to limp along because you have, the Gain Bros and you have the Bitcoin Bros out there pumping this up every single day, you absolutely could. Our present system, our financial economy, it's been dead since 2008. It's been literally dead, and it's been on life support. The only thing that's been keeping it alive has been endless streams of quantitative easing. But it can limp along if people continue to play along. And the same thing can happen with Bitcoin. But for me, I think it's going to fail at some point because fundamentally it just doesn't work. You need all this stuff to make it work. And, as Leonardo da Vinci said, simplicity is the most ultimate of sophistications, and evolution typically favors that which is most efficient. And if the paradigm is technological advancement in order to value efficiency, then something is going to have to beat out Bitcoin. And people are going to have to wake up to this at some point. And I think a game theory is going to kick in where the Bitcoin bros, who, by the way, are deep into Monero already, they just aren't going to tell you because they don't want to scream Monero in a crowded Bitcoin theater. It's going to become, well, whoever gets into Bitcoin first, or excuse me, whoever gets into Monero first, they're going to benefit the most. And they're probably going to sell their Bitcoin at the same time too. Maybe they keep a little bit as a hedge, but the weighting into Monero is going to increase. And that guy, I think is his name, on the Coin Bureau just did a new video on Monero. Go check it out. It's a pretty good video. But is Monero the Bitcoin killer? I think that's the wrong way to frame it. I think the question is, are people going to figure out Monero is a living, breathing, functional system, which is consistently updated, which is consistently evolving? Now, some people don't like that because they think the store of value proposition is harmed by continuous upgrades to the system. But for me, this isn't a problem because I don't think store of value is a part of crypto. I don't. I think that gold and silver are superior stores of value, and maybe you could say that crypto to a certain degree is store of value, but it's so inferior to gold and silver that I can't consider it a store of value. Now, if any crypto is to be a store of value, it's going to be Monero and it's not going to be Bitcoin. But that is another conversation. The fact that it lives and it breathes and it adapts, Monero, and Bitcoin doesn't really. I mean, the last upgrade I think you have is Taproot, but honestly, that made Monero more attractive. We made a video on that where you can do atomic swaps and you can do it privately because of Taproot. Yeah, I think Monero, if more people wake up, are going to become part of that movement, and they're just going to leave the corpse of Bitcoin behind. We'll see. We'll see. But those are my thoughts on that. I can go down deeper into the store of value thing, but I'm just going to have to make an entire video on that. I've said so many things about it in passing. I could probably get all those clips together and put it into a video, but I want to make a cohesive video on that so people understand my perspective. Because I made a poll a couple of weeks ago, and I talked about, or I just put out there, hey, what do you think is the best store of value? And I said Bitcoin, land, Monero, or gold. And most people said Monero. Now, that's going to be biased because most of the people who follow me are into Monero. Duh. But Bitcoin came in last place. Gold, I think, came in third place. And I think land came in second place. Now, land makes some sense. I was expecting some follow-up questions or remarks because it depends on what land you get, right? You don't want land in the middle of the desert, but you also don't want land next to Mick Jagger's house, right? Although you'd probably be doing pretty well if you did have that land next to Mick Jagger's house. But you know what I mean. So that maybe will be reserved for another time. But that's all I got. Send me more private super chats if you are willing. Oh, by the way, I've got something I want to say here. There's a bro who reached out to me. He's a cool bro. I think he's kind of new to the movement. But, he's been nice, and we've messaged a little bit. Let me see if I can find you. I just want to give him a shout-out because he's a new Monero bro, I think. Even though it says buy Bitcoin on your Twitter, bro, you're going to have to fix that, man. You're going to have to fix that. Cringe. Stoic Hodler. So cool, bro. Give this guy a follow. He's a nice guy. He's very excited about Monero. He's got some good takes here. Yeah, so that's it. Monero Matteo. Follow me on the social media links below. If you want to do a private super chat, just go ahead and send some Monero, some other cryptos. Send me a message through the Proton Mail. Send a message through Pirate Chain. That seems to be the main avenue by which I get these things, which is cool. I haven't gotten anything through Xano or Concealed Network. If you do send me something through there, just send me a Proton Mail, honestly. I don't even check them anymore because I just haven't gotten anything. But I think they're interesting projects. And that's it. Monero Matteo, out.